What's going on, my dudes? Chensleo11 here, and welcome back to another episode in the A to Z series. Today we are playing Jhin. So in this video we're going to be showing you how to play Jhin ADC for beginners. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is a bit of a fun game. I had a lot of fun with Jhin. One of the first ADCs that I really learned, and when I first started playing League. Super fun champion, very unique if you've never played ADC before. So a little bit different to the normal attack speed based ADCs or marksmen as they are called. But yeah, Jhin's a lot of fun, really cool aesthetic, super cool voice lines as well, so there's a little bit of a bonus. Anyway guys, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We are going through every single champion in League of Legends and giving you a basic or beginner's guide on each of them. So I hope you enjoy, and basically what we're going to do in the video is obviously, as always, we're going to go through the runes, the build, and most importantly the abilities, and a little bit of commentary on the game as we play. But just a quick mention, start your Q, obviously take heal to start off with Doran's Blade and Potion. So nice zoom in there of Jhin. So I like to think of Jhin as a high burst ADC. He's not reliable damage over time, so he kind of sucks at taking Baron and Dragon, and those familiar with Jhin will know this. But he comes in handy in other ways. He has very long range, he has good vision, actually, with some of his abilities, and he has a lot of burst, as you'll see with that fourth shot of his passive, and we'll go through that in a moment. Give your jungler a leash, level 1. We're going to head down to the bot lane. We've got a center support. Hopefully we can win the game, win the lane. So we're going to go through the runes to start with, and I'm going to throw up the runes that I used in this game, which consisted of Fleet Footwork, Presence of Mind, Legend Bloodline, Coop, and then Sorcery secondary with Nimbus Cloak and I can never say this, Serenity, Pegasus' wife. Can never say that word. The movement speed one. And this rune page, I like to think is safer, a bit more movement speed, a little bit more healing, obviously, with the fleet, and Serenity and the Nimbus Cloak, obviously a lot of movement speed based. But I'm also going to throw up another page on the screen, and this is the page that is becoming more popular and more popular as time goes on, and it's also now what the pros are using more often than not. They still use the page I've used in this game, but I'll throw this one up. This one is a lot more damage, and it's a lot more risky. And it's Dark Harvest with Taste of Blood, and what is it? Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter, and then you go Precision Tree with Presence of Mind and Bloodline. So that tree is a little bit more aggressive, and it does a lot more damage overall, but it is a little bit more risky. If you are trying Jhin for the first time, I recommend trying both. And if you are struggling in lane, I recommend going to the first tree I put up, but going Inspiration secondary and going free the potion, what's it called? The Time Walk Tonic, and Biscuits. I think that'll help you in the lane, especially in a tough matchup. So far, not too bad. Ashe is a little bit annoying with her poke. 420 Bong Pipe, great name. But so far, so good. Basically, early game ADC, you're relying on your support to do things. You can't really do much. Jhin has a little bit of setup with your W, which we'll go through the abilities in a moment. But just trying to farm. That's the best thing you can do in lane. Stack yourself up. Try and get kills when you can. Get the gold, get the items, and then carry the late game. That's more or less the objective of an ADC. And if you don't know, ADC stands for Attack Damage Carry. That is the attack damage carry usually hangs out in the bot lane with a support, and they're usually marksmen, so long range, high AD threats that are quite squishy, like glass cannons, like Ashe and myself in this game. So a little bit of an exchange going on here. Again, just trying to farm. We could probably kill the Ashe with some flash play, but you know, let's just worry about the farm. Let's let the CC come down from the center, and then we can go in for the kill. So auto Q. Can we finish her off? We get the flash. We get both their flashes, so not very, very good bind from the center. But we're going to start off, as I do with all these videos, quickly putting up the build as well, guys. So the build we are running today is Gale Force into the Collector, and then after that you can go Rapid Fire Cannon, Infinity Edge. And then after that it's very game dependent, depending on what you need. I'll throw up the ideal build path on the screen, and the ability max order, Q into W into E. But basically, Gale Force and the Collector offer a lot of damage, and I really like the active of Gale Force. I think it's super effective at stealing kills, which is what I like to do with it. To get in, I like to use it as like it's kind of like an Ari ult, right? So you use it, and this orb of damage comes out and does damage to the target that's nearest, and also the flash that it gives you is actually super useful, especially on Jhin, who lacks mobility. Jhin is one of those champions that has absolutely no mobility. The rune setup I'm using this game helps a lot with movement speed, but apart from that, you're actually really, really immobile and a good target for assassins. So that being said, we're going to get started with the abilities and the passives. Oh, look at that beautiful bounce. Got one on the Maokai there into the bush. Senna's trying to land the stun. Can't quite get it. So we're going to start off with Whisper, which is Jhin's passive. Okay. Now, as you would have seen, Jhin has a really awkward, or not awkward, just weird auto attack. Okay. So basically, when Jhin auto attacks, he consumes ammunition, and the ammunition bar is underneath the health bar there. And you can see there's 3 grey segments followed by a purple segment. Now, after you consume all of the segments, Jhin will start to reload, as he is doing right now, and you cannot auto attack, which is super weird if you're used to playing a attack speed based ADC. However, your auto attacks do a lot of damage, obviously, and that last auto attack you can see there, it crits and gives you a burst of movement speed. So I missed the W there, we suck. And that's actually super good at bursting down targets. And the reason why I say bursting is because it crits, and also it does percent missing health damage. Okay, so if the lower the health of the enemy target, the more damage it does. So this Ashe right now would take a lot of damage from my my 4th shot, and she will die there with the auto Q. Didn't quite get the last shot on her, but it didn't matter. We get the kill. Again, good setup for the Senna getting the stun. So that's that. The last shot is also like it's uncancelable wind up. So once you start the auto attack animation, it's all over. You have to shoot it. Quick mention on the gameplay here. We've pushed out the Ashe. Obviously we killed her. So now we're going to go take the dragon. The Elise, nice early game jungler. Nice, good intent on pinging the dragon, which is very, very good. This Master is not going to be able to contest. So we get a nice early start to the game, and we get a dragon. So really good start to the game. But yeah, so basically there's also a second part of the passive, is that Jhin's crits don't actually do 175% damage, which is what a normal crit does. It only does 150%. However, when your auto attacks in general give you bonus attack damage. That scales, let's watch this. That scales with attack speed and crit chance. It's a nice stun from myself. And I will mention that stun in a moment. But I really like Jhin for that stun and setup play. He almost has like an Ashe ult on like a 4-second cooldown, but not the unlimited range. Super good champion. So what does that mean? So Jhin can't build attack speed, or he does build attack speed, and you should build attack speed, but it doesn't actually give him attack speed. And same with crit. It doesn't give you crit chance. It doesn't give you, when you build crit chance, it gives you, like, you can crit and you get the burst of movement speed when you crit, but it also scales, most importantly, it scales with that second part of your passive, which gives you more damage, essentially, on all your auto attacks. So super, super good. But remember, you always crit on your 4th shot as well. So this shot here we got lined up. You can see there that crit animation. It's like the damage number is bigger, and there's also a little bullet next to it that identifies that it was a crit. There it is there. See that 134 damage? That was a crit. So Elise is waiting. She just misses the cocoon, and we're trying to just see what we can do here. We got the crit, 4th shot, set it ult. We just have a W coming up. We didn't need it. Elise gets a double kill. And this lane is pretty much over, guys. We're going to shove this out and maybe get a plate. Nice game from the Elise, getting the double kill. And we are able to push this out and secure a plate for myself. Go back to lane. We already have a pickaxe, and we're going to probably get close to finishing our first item, which is super, super good. So that's a passive. A little bit weird. Remember, you have 4 shots. You reload when you run out of shots. Another thing with the reload mechanic is if you stop attacking when you have, let's say, 2 bullets left, if you don't attack anything or out of combat for 10 seconds, Jhin will just start reloading to get to 4 shots. So you don't have to like worry about if you play FPSs like, oh, I need to reload because I'm not going to be doing much now. The game will automatically reload if you haven't done anything for 10 seconds. However, if you find yourself in a pickle where you start reloading and you still have bullets in the chamber and you shoot, Jin's reload animation will cancel and you shoot normal as is. So you don't have to worry about reloading at all. It's something that happens in the background. You don't have to think about too much. Just be aware of when you fire your fourth shot, you get the movement speed. That normally signifies get out of there. Like if you shoot your first shot, move backwards because you can't auto attack for the next few seconds while you reload. So that's his passive, a little bit long-winded, but it's a little bit different, and it's basically what makes Jhin Jhin. His auto attack animations and his mechanics with his auto attacks. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we did in fact get the second component of the the Gale Force. We didn't quite finish it, and we did pick up some boots, so we are actually really good. And you can see me just checking the range of my ultimate to see if I can help out on that Master Yi who was invading. But we need to get back to lane and try and stop this push that the enemy team set up. And we can see we're 2 levels on the enemy Ashe. And we are a level up on the Maokai. Ashe just leveled up though. So the next ability we are going to be going through is Dancing Grenade, which is Jin's Q. So basically Jhin launches a canister at a target enemy. At a targeted enemy with your mouse. You choose where you want it to go. Just like I did there. And that's a nice auto Q, and then followed up with a stun. Maokai's flash. I'm going to try and get him with my ultimate here. We get 1 shot, 2 shots, we kill him, and we're going to try and might as well fire the last 2 bullets at the Ashe to try and chunk her down a bit. Unfortunately, we didn't get her. But you can see that was the dancing grenade on those minions. It bounces. You shoot the canister, it bounces to the next enemy up to 3 additional times. So you can hit 4 enemies. All right, and each of these do damage, obviously, but what's interesting about this ability is that if the canister killed the enemy it bounced on last, as we get 3 procs for centers passive on those, that bouncing grenade, absolutely disgusting luck. If the canister bounces on the... Well, can we get the stun here? If the canister kills the last target it hit, it does bonus 35% damage on the next target. So we get the root on the Ashe, allowing the Elise to get the kill, and nice, a bit of a hectic start of this game here. You can see we're farming pretty well, and I don't know if the Elise is going to need our hand. She probably did, so we suck, but we end up getting the kill for ourselves. We don't take a tower shot, and we're going to get a free plate here. So this is absolutely insane. We got 2,000 gold on top of the items we already have. We're going to have a first item pre-13 minutes, it looks like. So fantastic job from my team to set me up, because I didn't really do anything special. Had a few good stun plays that allowed us to get some like follow-up plays. And you see there the bouncing grenade. See when it hit those back minions, they died, so the next bounce did more damage, okay? So that's just something to be aware of. It's kind of like Misfortune's Q, right? You want to try and hit it on a low health minion so that it bounces to the next minion and the enemy champion and does extra damage, extra 35% damage. So I had to flash there, no other choice. Master Yi coming around. So I probably should back here, but I want to see what we're trying to. I think I'm going to greed and try and get this, help my team get the dragon before we go back. So that's the Q. Very, very simple. And you can see we can, on the cocoon, we could probably just layer our W as well to get more stun. And we will go through the W right now. So the W. The W is called Deadly Flourish. And it's one of my favorite abilities on Jhin, other than his ultimate, of course. But this ability, the one I just used there, is absolutely disgusting, guys. And it's not for its damage, it's honestly for its setup potential, and its CC. Jhin is an ADC that has an absolute shitload of crowd control, and it's absolutely insane. Basically, Jhin fires that line shot, as you just saw there, in a target direction, and I will throw up the abilities on the top left-hand corner of the screen, as always, to give you a nice representation of what it looks like. But it fires a shot in a direct line that does damage to all minions it passes through, but then it stops when it hits the first... nice, we get the Master Yi. He stuck the dragon. It stops when it hits the first enemy champion. Now, in order for it to stun, the enemy has to have taken damage from you yourself or an ally. Okay, so if anyone auto-attacks the enemy or they hit him with an ability, they are marked. And the mark is like a little red circle. You would see it, or a purple swirling circle. You'll see it throughout the game if you look at enemies when I auto-attack them. That means they are available to be stunned by my W. Okay? The W is actually really easy to hit as well. It does put a line indicator for the enemy to try and dodge it, but it goes off relatively quick. And you can actually snag a lot of enemies with your W very quickly. So if they are marked, and I want to show you an example of Master Yi getting marked here if anyone hits him with an ability, and you hit him with your W, they are rooted, and you get that burst of movement speed. So you can see when Talon goes in on there, there's the circle. Unfortunately, I missed the stun. But unfortunately, we're just going to see what we can do with this ultimate. We miss, and we're going to have to back out of here before we get stunned by the Leona. Not Master. Yasuo put actually a decent wind wall up, so he blocked a few of my ultimate shots, which sucks. A little bit of a counter to Jhin. So there's the circle there. You can see it. So if I hit my W on that Leona at the top there, she would be rooted. So the root duration goes up with levels. So that's why it's your second max. Q being your first max as it increases in damage, and that's what you're trying to do damage. So the W, very, very simple. It does 25% reduced damage against non-champions, so you can't use it to absolutely murder waves, but that's not what its primary purpose is. The primary purpose is for a nice stun. Finally, we're going to back with 3,500 gold. We might be able to get 1.5 or an item plus our Boots of Swiftness, which is super good on Jhin, as you you just need your movement speed. Your movement speed is your best friend when you play Jhin because you have no mobility, and attack speed boots aren't that great, obviously, because you can't build attack speed, although remember, it gives you bonus damage. You're still better off every time with the Swifty boots. Talon going in on the Maokai, see if we can get a kill down there. So that's that, guys. We do have a Gale Force now, and we're going to be moving swiftly into our collector. Now, I did put up the different rune pages at the start. Bear in mind, the build does not change. The build I put up on the start is still the best build, and I highly recommend that build. But yeah, we're going to be going on to our E, which is called Captive Audience. So Captive Audience is Jin's trap, okay? And you've seen me put down a little bit of them during this game. It's something that, as when I play Jhin, I notice I don't use enough of because they're actually really, really good. You can see on my hotbar there, I have 2 under my little E there. That means I have 2 traps active, and as the time goes, you gain you have 2 traps that reload, that are available to use. You see, I'm just trying to muck around with this Master E, and unfortunately, I'm going to get caught out by the Leona. I did steal 3 of those Raptors, but I used my Gale Force to escape, plus the peel of my the auto attack speed, and I was able to turn around, get the Leona, and now I can follow up with my ultimate to help my team kill this Maokai. There's the stun as well, and I promise we are going to go through this. This ability, the E, in a moment. Nice heal from myself there to make sure I don't die to the Ashe, and then we burst her as well. So the E, Jhin places down these traps, and they're called Lotus traps, and they are stealthed after a second when they are being armed, and then they last for 180 seconds. And they grant sight as well. That's one of the things that I don't use them enough for to give vision. Just going to take this tower here as well. So the trap blooms, and there's the trap blooming there, and it explodes after a certain time, dealing damage. Once the trap blooms, it reveals enemies for 4 seconds. The enemies that also trigger the trap are slowed. And then after 2 seconds, the trap explodes, dealing magic damage, okay? So the trap also does damage to minions. It only does 65%, not 100%, so a little bit less again, so you can't murder waves. You have seen me a couple times try to use the clear waves quickly, but I don't get through them. I don't use it that quickly. They don't burst the minions that quickly. But yeah, what you can do with the trap as well is once an enemy passes over them, they become marked and you can hit them with your W and stun them. Additionally, when you kill, you would have noticed, when I kill an enemy, when they die, they also spawn a primed armed trap. So they also spawn one on the floor. So just more traps on the ground doing more damage. So that's the E. Finally, we're going to finish up with Jhin's ultimate, which is one of my favorite ultimates in the game, actually. It's called Curtain Call. So Jhin opens up, or he channels, and the game opens up. It's kind of weird. And you zoom out, and you get 10 seconds to fire 4 shots. It's like a mini game. And now each of the shots deal physical damage and is increased by their target's missing health. So they deal more damage to low health targets. So if you see a low health target, prioritize those because you'll do more damage to them. Once you hit him with a bullet, they give sight of the enemy champion, and it slows them for 80%. So nearly stunning them. That's how good that slow is if they have no tenacity or slow resist. So you can see there the trap to kill the wave, and then we take that tower as well. But yeah, guys, it's super good. The next thing I want to say with the ultimate is the 4th shot also crits, okay? So it does bonus physical damage. So we have absolutely demolished this game early. We are 6-0 and 8. We've done a good job of, or the jungler's done a good job of making sure we get the dragons. And we're going to absolutely demolish this Yasuo. He's probably just tilted at this point. trying to get in for a kill. So right now, what you should be doing when you play any AD carries, try and get as much farm as you can. I think we're on about 7 CS per minute, maybe a little bit less, 6.5. So not the best, but I do have a lot of kills. So my income is actually quite high. We did finish our collector, and we're going to run in and try and end this game right now because we are very, very strong. And I just backed and have a good item advantage on everyone on the enemy team. So we can pretty much demolish everyone. Some good combos to do on Jhin is to auto attack and then auto attack. It's not really an auto attack reset, but it's using your Q straight after. Another thing you can do is use your trap, and then as soon as they spring the trap, you W them, and we get that kill steal with that Gale Force, which is amazing. So you can instantly stun them inside your trap, because remember they will be slowed, and then they'll take the full damage of your trap. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. We absolutely demolished this game. We've been through all the abilities. I hope you picked up something new, and I hope you enjoy playing Jhin. I think he's a really fun champion, and we're going to just demolish that. Actually, I didn't do any damage to him, but anyway, we're going to use our ultimate at the end, try and get the Ash, but we're not going to, unfortunately. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, we are going through every single champion, and I think next we have another AD carry. I think we've got Jinx, another super fun AD carry who plays a little bit different to Jhin, and I think both of them are really, really strong. So we have Jinx next, so hit the subscribe button so you are notified of that next video. Thank you, guys. Remember, at the end of the day, it is nighttime. Take it easy.